Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it. What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. I really do appreciate it. Listen, before we even kick off into this podcast episode, want to send you guys a sincere debt of gratitude. Want to thank you from the bottom of my heart with much love, especially for you guys who have left me reviews. I just reviewed all the reviews I've gotten over the last month from all over the world: Canada, Norway, Great Britain, Australia, India, Bangladesh, Netherlands, Germany, Spain, Brazil, just from everywhere, man. And I just had this outpouring of love for all you guys. I read each one at least twice, at least the positive ones. The negative ones I don't even look at. But the negative ones are so few and far between. Want to give you a hug, bro. Come over here, man. Give me up. Where are you going, dude? I just want to give you a hug. I want to be like something about Mary. Remember when Lloyd Christmas, who was played by Jim Carrey, he hugs that girl at the airport and then he puts his head down on her shoulder and he's like, "Ugh," and he gives her a little shake. It's what I want to do to all you champions who left me reviews, who have emailed me, who have come into my coaching program. I just feel an outpouring of love for you guys right now. And even if you haven't done that, if you've listened to my podcast for any amount of time, seriously, bro, really, seriously, genuinely, sincerely, I appreciate you, man. And I send you love. I hope you're doing okay, man. I hope you're improving in life and taking this one chance and making the meanest hand possible. I hope you're kicking ass. And we have a lot of good times to come, don't we? A lot more laps around the track to do together. And today we're going to talk about masculinity, which is one of my favorite topics and which is one of the most important things to attract women, to attract money, to attract confidence to yourself. So we're going to go through 15 masculine traits that I want you guys to really consider as you move forward through life and ask yourself, am I doing these things or am I in my feminine energy? So as men, we're a little bit like carburetors, right? We need to be tuned to the right amount of gas mixture versus air mixture. And if our tuning is off, we're not going to feel right. We're going to be depressed. We're going to be outcome dependent. We're going to be relying on other people to tell us that we're enough. And it just doesn't feel good. And a lot of you guys who are struggling with such things as anxiety, depression, maybe feeling unattractive around women, not getting the money you want, or any myriad of other maladies, oftentimes it's just like your carburetor, your testosterone, your masculinity isn't calibrated correctly. So what I'm going to give you today is 15 different lifestyle choices that you can make from this day forward to really recalibrate yourself. And this is going to make you feel a million times better. And it's going to make you much more attractive to women. If you live by these, you'll probably make more money. You're just going to be generally more at peace and happy. And that's what I want to give you today, because you guys really do appreciate your support. I know it's because of you that this podcast is growing like a weed. I know it's because of you that I'm able to do what I love, and giving this to you, this free content, is the least I can do, man. So let me try to really deliver the goods as a sincere thank you for all that you've done for me. All right, so 15 masculine traits to 15x your male power, or whatever the hell I titled it. The first one is masculinity is single focused, one thing at a time. Multitasking, putting off things, jumping from one thing to the next is a feminine quality. And I'm not saying it's a bad quality. And by the way, want to send out a quick caveat here to all these things. I'm not saying it's superior to femininity. In fact, femininity has a lot of things that are superior to masculinity, but these are masculine traits that make masculine successful. So don't think just because I'm saying 15 good things about one thing, it means I'm saying 15 bad things about the other. It's not true. Life is a polarity. Life is the yin and the yang, the pull, the flow of the energy field going through life. And this is the masculine energy field that we're focused on. And that is being single focused, focusing on that one thing at a time, checking it off your list. And once it's done, you go to the next thing. So somebody who's really productive is really masculine, and they're just like boom, boom, boom. They like checklists, they like order, they like repetition, they like routine. They also like, which is number 2, having purpose and a mission. One of the reasons people get sick, such as getting cancer or something similar, is because they don't have a life mission. They don't have a purpose. They don't really know why they're here. They're floating like a turd on the breeze. They don't have that path laid out in front of them that they themselves created. And this is why when many times people get out of their sickness, for example, when their cancer goes away, they call it remission, which is to say they got a mission, remission. They have a mission now, they have a new purpose in life, and they can get after it. So it's really important to always be going after something, to always have a reason to wake up, to always have that passion in your life and that mission that you're going for, whatever it may be. The third trait is slightly similar, but also slightly different, and that means you have direction. Okay, you know where you're going. You're not just kind of going left because people tell you to go left. Now you go right because people tell you to go right. Nah, man, you're on a sailboat. You're aiming the sailboat for the island and you're fucking going for it, and you'll do whatever it takes to get you there. You see, the ocean is feminine. It's better at going with life's energies. It flows. And this, by the way, is why women will flake on you. They won't be able to make up their mind, is because they just go with the whims of what the ocean is doing. The sailboat is masculine. It's on the feminine, going with its whims, but directing it exactly where it wants to go, like aiming it at that island. If that island, for example, is making X amount of money, getting X amount of dates each week, whatever it is that your direction is, you stick with it and you aren't blown to and fro by circumstances of life the way the feminine is. The fourth one, and this is one of my favorite ones, is that masculinity is towards oriented. Okay, so we talked about having a purpose and a mission. We talked about having direction. And now I want to talk about how you think as a masculine man. Instead of being afraid of what might happen, you go for what might be good. So you focus on the positives, you focus on the result. You're not afraid of all those obstacles that will come up. You simply see them as checklists to get done, to get over, to get through, because you're going towards your goal. I like the example of a windshield in your car, okay? The windshield takes up about 90% of your view. That's in front of you. That's towards where you're going. The rearview mirror, on the other hand, takes up a much smaller percentage because that's looking behind you. And what I always like to say is drive fast to avoid the accidents behind you because you are masculine and you're towards oriented. Have you ever noticed that really masculine people, when they set a goal, it's like nothing can stop them. No amount of bad news or calamity or possible misfortune in the future. They're like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I'll get through this because I know I can systematically overcome those obstacles as I go towards my mission, as I go towards my purpose and go towards what I'm trying to accomplish. In that note, number 5, masculine is solution oriented. It's not problem oriented. So when it sees a problem, it doesn't think about the problem, dwell on it, lose sleep over it, and cry like a little bitch because things aren't going the way it wish it would go. No, it says, okay, this is a problem. How can I solve it? It immediately goes into the solving mentality. And as you think that way, you will think of ways to overcome those problems. And actually, many times the journey becomes more pleasurable when problems come up. I don't know about you guys, but a big reason for my anxiety is that I had a belief system that there should be no problems. And I always felt a distant sense of threat, as I called it, a distant sense of threat of things going wrong. I won't be able to get through them. And what does that say about my confidence? It said that I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have the self-belief to believe that I could get through those problems. Well, through working on myself over the last 20 years, I welcome problems. I welcome calamity. I welcome those things that are going to prevent me from getting to my goal, quote unquote, and I will fucking get through them. And that's the way I want you to think. No matter what happens, I will get through this. Bring it the fuck on. That's masculinity. On that note, I think we're on number 6. Is that right? Number 6? Whatever. I know I've got 15 here, so we're solid. All right. The next one is masculinity wants challenges and it wants competition. So it will enroll in things that are competitive, right? Like I'm doing a triathlon here in the next 2 weeks. I want that competition. I want to blow everybody out of the water when it comes to the swim. I want to finish first. I've been swimming a mile every single day. My time is going down and it's just a 750 meter swim, which is a little less than half a mile. Dude, I'm going to fucking crush the competition. And I don't even know who I'm up against. And it's not really about me versus them. It's about me versus me. I'm going to try to beat my 750 meter record swim time. I'm really confident I can do it. It's been getting lower and lower and lower. I'm actually now at an advanced level when it comes to my age bracket, which is pretty sick to see. Biking, I'm so at, but I am a really good swimmer and I want to crush the competition, whoever they might be. Now, some of you triathletes might be listening and be like, be careful, bro. You don't want to blow your entire wad in the swim. I understand that. I'm going to pace myself, but I'm setting out competition. I'm setting out a challenge for myself. And again, not necessarily me against them, but me against me. I want to beat my best time. And then when I get on that bike, I want to do the same thing. Can't fucking wait, because masculine wants challenges. It wants competition. It seeks them out. And it doesn't seek them out in a safe place like playing video games or even being on the dating apps where rejection doesn't really feel as bad as it does in person. No, they want the biggest competition. They want the biggest potential loss, because they understand, as a masculine man, the biggest potential loss also means the biggest potential reward. And that's why sometimes when I'm talking to chicks, I'll do some risky shit. I'll talk shit a little bit. I'll challenge them. I'll disagree with them openly. Or I'll do something like, do you like to travel? And she says yes. And then I push her and I'm like, travel over there. Okay, these kinds of things are big risks, but many times the payoff is huge. And that's the way masculine thinks. And look, if she doesn't like me, I don't give a shit, dude. I'll go talk to the next girl. Her loss. That's the way masculine energy thinks. Masculine wants to protect. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to this. You should have something or someone who you will die for. Something or someone who you will sacrifice for. Something or someone who you will train to be able to protect should the shit hit the fan. On that note, masculine wants to feel needed. The most important thing to a man in a relationship is that his girl is hot, but the second most important thing is that he feels needed by his woman, that he feels like he has a place, he has a purpose, that he's the protector, the provider, and the presider over his woman and his family. So to feel needed by somebody is really important to him. Now, as you get to a deeper level, as I often discuss on this podcast, you don't really care if somebody needs you. Really, you don't even need yourself when it comes down to a very spiritual level, because you know that no matter what happens, everything will be fine. And that has also helped me tremendously with my anxiety, that I believe, and this is spiritual now, but I believe that this is a benevolent universe. I believe that God, if you will, source energy, whatever you want to call it, is a loving entity, and this is for our benefit. Therefore, I have faith, and I know a lot of you guys hate that word faith, as I used to hate it as well, but I have faith in the system. I have faith that everything is going to be fine, as long as I have faith that everything's going to be fine. Isn't that interesting? When you're anxious, when you're full of doubt and worry, you are essentially doubting the system and thus attracting to yourself those things which will make your life shitty. Those things which you're doubting, such as fearing that you'll lose your business, or fearing that you'll lose a girl or lose money, or we're going to have World War III in the next 3 months, or like those preppers who are prepping for some major calamity. That is the biggest example of a scarcity mindset and lack of belief in the fundamental benevolence of the universe that things are going to turn out okay. Call me ignorant, call me a guy who's sticking his head in the sand, but I believe that as long as I am in a state of appreciation and in a state of faith that everything will be fine, then everything will be fine. How do I know this is true? 45 years of experience. It always works out. When you believe, it will always work out. Number 9 or 8 or whatever one I'm on, masculinity wants to empty, femininity wants to receive. So what this means is your job as a masculine man is to approach women, first of all, to give them your good energy. As I always say, be a go-giver, don't be a go-taker, and give those women your masculine energy, because that's what the masculine wants to do. So if you're in a state of where you really hope that girls will approach you, if you're in a state where you give women the lead and sexually fantasize about a woman taking control and riding you, I question where you're at in your masculinity. We should be hitting the numbers. I want you opening 20 girls a week. I don't give a shit what happens. Your success is not based on her reaction. Your success is based on the balls it took to go ahead and approach her. Even if I get 20 rejections in a week, who fucking cares? I can't control what they think of me. And frankly, I don't give a shit what they think of me, because I'm internally validated, which by the way is masculine as well. What I focus on is the numbers, and I focus on the cojones, the sheer balls clanging between my two legs it took to approach all those hot girls. And that's the way masculine is. It wants to go give, and it doesn't really care about receiving. And if you want to stretch this out and liken it to a physical example, the penis goes into the vagina, which means it enters the vagina, which receives it, and it gives it seed. It comes outward. That's a physical representation of masculinity and femininity. So be a go-giver. Go give women your good energy, give them compliments, give them a good conversation, give, and you will get back in return. Masculine wants to possess. We want our woman. We want our car, our home, our whatever. Now, I struggle a little bit with this masculine trait because I think when you reach a higher level of consciousness, you don't need to possess anything. But I like to think of the word possess as the word abundance. So instead of having that girl and holding on to her, which we should never do, if you've listened to any of my podcasts, you know that. Instead of that, you should possess abundance, that you don't just have one woman, you have all women. And you appreciate femininity, you appreciate the abundance, and you possess the ability to go get more women, to go get more money, to go get more success. It's just like turning on the sink and water comes out. You don't doubt it because you're confident in the sheer abundance of water. You're confident in the sheer abundance of air, most likely. You're confident that the sun is going to rise the next morning. But are you truly confident that you can get girls? Are you truly confident there's enough money in the world? Are you truly confident that there's enough love in the world, which is a major issue that almost all my clients have? They feel I'm not worthy of love. And that's an issue because when you want to possess the world, you feel abundant. And rather than having it, holding on to it, when you really possess something, you're willing to let it go. In fact, the true nature of possession is the ability to, like your hand in the wind, open your hand and possess it completely. And that's what masculine wants to do. It owns everything. Everything is his. Everything is possible. Abundance is his default mentality. Number 10 is masculine loves routines. It loves stability. It loves schedules. It loves to look at its money and see how much is going into the stock market, how much into Bitcoin, how much into real estate, how much into savings. It's really focused on the numbers. That's why highly masculine men are often super logical. They're often into STEM type of things, which means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Masculinity is all about the routines. It's all about waking up at the same time, doing the same routine every day. I don't know about you, but I like to eat the same thing every day because it's very predictable. I meditate at the same time. I myself take 2 showers per day just because showers help me fall asleep at night and wake me up in the morning. And by the way, when it comes to me, I take a very cold shower in the morning, which is also masculine and raises your testosterone. But every day it's pretty predictable. I have the same routines, and those who get success just do the same thing every single day, and success happens little by little. Systematic improvement is the nature of all mastery. All right, number 11 is masculinity is goal-oriented. Focused on your goals. You have many different goals that you're working on. And once again, it's just a systematic step-by-step process of being towards that goal, being on your sailboat, pointing it towards the island, and just every day you work a little bit to get closer and closer. And if problems come up, fine. In fact, problems are what make me a better man. So I'm solution-oriented. I'm going to get through them. And as I get through them, I'm going to grow, which is always my highest priority. So I don't fear problems. I don't have that distant sense of threat. What I have is a goal-oriented mentality, and I'm going to fucking crush this life. Why? Because when I get to my deathbed, I don't want to look back and say that feminine energy, fear, anxiety, those things that I was afraid of going wrong held me back from being the best man I can be. All right, the next one is masculinity is trustworthy. And I really want to sit a lot of you guys down and kind of have a heart-to-heart with you, bro. A lot of you guys email me, you ask for shit, you do shit, maybe you'll sign up with a coaching call with me and you fucking flake. I have absolutely no respect for that because that's coming from your feminine energy. A man, a masculine man does what the fuck he says he's going to do. If I say to you, I'm going to be there on that breakthrough session at Friday at 3:30 p.m., you can bet your fucking life I will be there. Every word I say by definition is a promise. And I want you to start thinking that from here forward. So if you flake on people, if you change your mind, if you just don't feel like it anymore, that is seriously coming from your feminine energy. And this is why women flake on us all the time. It's because they're inner feminine. And I need to say again, feminine is beautiful. It has many great things. In fact, I should probably do a podcast on all the amazing things that femininity brings into this world. But when it comes to being a man of your word, that's motherfucking masculine. Showing up on time, doing everything you say you're gonna do. If you have to move heaven and earth to be there, you will be there. When you flake, you get into your feminine energy. And not only that, you start doubting your own word. What happens when you doubt your own word? Your confidence goes down. Dude, you can't even trust yourself. So how can anybody else trust you? How can you lead a woman into a successful, positive, peaceful life where she pair bonded with you if she can't even rely on your word? So if you flaked on people, and not only me, anybody else, stop that shit today. Don't dwell on your mistake. Just say that it was part of your evolution. And yes, you had to go through that in order to grow past it. But from today forward, you are masculine. You are a man of your word. Every word you say, by definition, is a promise. All right, and my final one is masculinity stays off social media, doesn't care about people's validation, doesn't really go shopping unless he knows exactly what he's going for, because he doesn't need that external validation, and he doesn't browse. Masculinity is like a sniper rifle. Femininity is like a mortar attack, where they basically spread shells all over a certain area where they think the enemy is in order to kill them. Whereas masculinity goes exactly for its target and it snipes them out. And that's why it doesn't go shopping and just browse and, oh, let me see what's at JCPenney. Maybe I can find some new underwear that the girls will really like. No. You're like, yo, I'm going to JCPenney to get a Volcom shirt. It's going to be small. It's going to be black. Let's get it done. Then you go up to that third floor. You talk to 20 girls on your way up there, buy the damn shirt and get the fuck out of there to accomplish the next mission. Masculinity is also internally validated, which is my final point. Internally validated means your opinion of yourself is really the only one that matters. Yes, you'll take constructive criticism. Yes, you'll listen with an open mind to the opinions of others. But if a girl rejects you, you don't sit around crying, or as I always like to say, get on the corner of your bed in the cannonball position and cry like a schoolgirl for 2 weeks because you don't give a fuck. You care about your own opinion of yourself, and that's internally validated, which is probably the biggest masculine trait, in addition to be towards oriented and being all about the numbers. So now that you're a masculine man, you will approach those 20 women per week. You won't give a shit what they think of you because you're internally validated and rejection means nothing to you. What means anything to you is the numbers. You will have a routine every day. You will do what you say you're going to do and not be a feminine flake who lets people down and thus lets yourself down. These are 15 masculine traits that will 15x your male power, bring you more money, bring you more confidence, bring you more women. Just stick to these and your success in life will easily go up by 15x. Gentlemen, once again, I really do appreciate you listening. For those of you who have left reviews, honestly, bro, huge salute to you. Yes, it's feminine that I want to give you a big hug, but if I ever see you, man, if we run into each other at the airport or you happen to be in Denver and I run into you in a nightclub and you're like, dude, are you MarkSing? I'll be like, yeah, man, I'm MarkSing. You'll be like, bro, I love your podcast. I left you a review. Bam, you're getting a big hug. And I'm going to do the old nestle, the old shake, bro. I'm going to shake you. And you're going to be like, bro, this guy's teaching masculinity. I don't know about all that. Well, I'll tell you what, masculinity doesn't give a fuck what you think of it. Therefore, it is who it is, believes in itself, and is internally validated. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for the reviews. If you leave me a review, email me at CoachMarkSing@gmail.com and I will send you a bunch of cool shit. I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, and I will see you in the next episode.